Hi, this is Doug Johnston with the Bible Moment. Like a lot of people, I belong to a gym. I go to the gym because, well, I don't do as much around the house as I should, and at least I go someplace to exercise. And like a lot of people, I don't go every day. We have a monthly rate we pay, and I try to be consistent as much because I need to exercise, but as much because, well, I don't want to waste the money. And then I find out that even though I feel bad because I only go a few times a week, there's a lot of people who get really excited, join a gym in January, and by the time May or June comes by, never go again. I was reading some data saying that perhaps as much as 30 to 40% of any health club's membership doesn't even attend after the year is half over. We start off a lot of good things, and then sometimes it's hard to finish them just because we don't think about it, we get out of the habit, or, well, it never really was what we were about to begin with. Faithfulness, loyalty, those are hard things. I was drawn to a story that I didn't know anything about until really even earlier this week, about a dog. The dog is named Hachiko. It's a story from Japan. Hachi apparently is the number 8 in Japanese, and Ko at the end of the name means prince or duke. So it's a nice little cute dog, 8th one in the litter, and called it Duke, Hachiko. The dog was born in 1924. It was adopted by a professor in agriculture at the University of Tokyo. It was his pet. It was an Akita kind of dog. And that dog would meet its professor owner every day at the train and would walk home with him. Walk with him to the train station in the morning. He'd take his train. The dog, even at a young age, would walk back home and then walk back to pick him up. And that happened every day for about a year or so until May of 1925, when the professor did not return home. He had unfortunately suffered a cerebral hemorrhage at work and died. Never returned to the train station. However, that Akita dog, Hachiko, would return every day for the next 9 years, waiting for its owner to return, and he never returned. As you can imagine, a dog showing up at a train station where a lot of people were waiting drew a lot of attention, and people initially would try and kick the dog, push the dog, get rid of the dog. But one day, one of the professor's students, 1932, who was interested in that type of breed of dog, Akita, saw the dog, followed him home, and saw that dog was connected with people with the professor's family, and heard the story. When he heard the story, that student wrote a study about Akitas in Japan and talked about this dog in particular, and had a story printed on October 4th, 1932 in the Asahi Shimbun about this dog. And people were fascinated. They began to welcome the dog at the train station because it was still going. It hadn't broken its habit. People would bring it snacks. People would bring it treats. And we look forward to seeing it every day when the evening trains occurred, until one day, March 8, 1935, the dog didn't return to the station, and people looked around and found that the dog had died on its way back to meet its master. And that dog's faithfulness has influenced stories, motion pictures, plays. And so the faithfulness of a dog, because it stood out so much, has been memorable. And part of that is because we people, we are not very dependable. We're not very faithful. And it's hard for us to do things that are good for us, much less things that are profitable to others. God looks at us from heaven and knows that we humans are folks that forget Him regularly. Isaiah chapter 1 verse 3, the Bible says, "The ox knows its owner, and the donkey its master's crib. But Israel does not know, my people do not consider." That dog story I told you about stands out because of its remarkable faithfulness. God looks at us, and He wonders why we similarly aren't faithful. Why do we not keep our commitments to Him? Why are we so quick to forget the promises we've made, the prayers we've said, and the sometimes vain promises we've made? We depend on God's mercy. We depend on God's grace. But we should similarly, in God's eyes, be seen as dependable to be people to keep commitments. It's terrible when dogs are seen as more faithful than we humans. When God looks at us, I hope that He sees that we are learning to be more faithful and remember our place in His kingdom. Thanks. That's the Bible Moment.